and hit the NBA with Around the Hardwood. As to begin, Jason Kidd on blowing Hughes' lead, Mavs have to grow up. Exactly what he said. And I'm gonna touch on it more because the next part of the show is a flagrant foul on the Dallas Mavericks. I will get to that. But yes, what Jason Kidd said is about to be true, so I will come back to this. It is so true that the Mavs need to grow up. In the same game, LeBron James to minor right foot injury against Mavs. He twisted his ankle against the Dallas Mavericks. He said he heard it pop, whatever it was. He said he popped. Nevertheless, he did finish the game. They're gonna monitor. They're gonna see what's gonna happen. But here's my question though to the Laker Nation: with LeBron saying that this is the most important 23 games of his career for regular season wise, can you afford to have the King sidelined due to an injury? Can you have that? Because let's look at the standings as of right now before we even recap what took place. As of right now, the Lakers are 12th in the West. They are half a game behind the Portland Trailblazers, who was the 11th seed. Golden State has moved. Golden State is 7. Utah is 8. Minnesota is 9. And the Water Pelicans is 10. The Lakers are currently 2 full games behind the Golden State Warriors for the 7th spot. 2.5 games behind the Dallas Mavericks for the 6th spot. Minnesota is struggling. The Water Pelicans is struggling. Utah might be coming back down to earth at 500. And Golden State is not even healthy. Can you afford to have the King miss some significant games down the stretch? That is my question for Laker Nation. I don't think you can afford it. Your next game is Tuesday against the Memphis Grizzlies, if I recall. I will get to that a little later. But can you afford, if you're LeBron James, to miss some games with an ankle injury, knowing that you are pushing at best the 6th seed and at the minimum a play-in spot? That's a question for the Lakers Nation and LeBron James to think about because he said this is the most important 23 games of his career for us the regular season. You have played 81 games. You have played 61 games. You have 21 left. Can missing a couple of games hurt the Lakers' chances? I'm just asking the question here. So that's something for Laker Nation LeBron James to ponder on as we move on. Damian Lillard scores career best 71 behind 13 three-pointers. That guy was on a mission. Now, I can't recap this game because this game is not part of the Around the Hardwood setting that I put together. But I can recap this game. Damian Lillard against the Houston Rockets with the final score 131 to 114, winning for the Portland Trailblazers that moved them ahead of the Lakers. Damian Lillard had 41 at halftime. He scored 30 in the second half. Damian Lillard was 22 for 38. He was 13 for 22 from three-point range. He had 6 rebounds and 6 assists to go along with 71 points. Now, it was against the Houston Rockets. Let's be honest. It was against the Houston Rockets. But 71 is 71 regardless. And this man went 22 for 38. So let me do some math. That dude shot 58% from the field and 59% from three. I'm going to say that again. Damian Lillard against the Houston Rockets last night shot 58% from the field. We want to be accurate, 57.9. And he shot 59% from three. That by itself shot better than the entire Houston Rockets team, who shot 45% from the field and 27% from three. Good gracious. Oh, and by the way, he put Jabari Smith Jr. on the poster as well. I didn't see the poster. I didn't have time. I wish I did. But where he got around, part of the 71 was putting Jabari Smith on the poster. So he got that going too. So shout out to Dame Dollar for putting the Blazers on his back. Currently, a half a game out of the 10th spot behind the New Orleans Pelicans. Now let's recap what took place over the weekend. Saturday. Man, Saturday was a great day of basketball in the NBA. We kicked it off with the 76ers hosting the actually, I got my slides messed up. I do apologize. Let me find the right one and go back in order. Actually, I didn't put it on here. Okay. Leave that right there for right now. Actually, take this down for right now. This is what we have. Saturday, we had some good games going on Saturday. One of which was a good game, but it shouldn't have been a good game. The Miami Heat losing to the Charlotte Hornets 108-103. That's the Heat fourth straight loss, even dating before the All-Star break. As I'm looking at the stats from Saturday, Jimmy Butler, 28.6 assists, 3 rebounds. Tyler Hero led all scores with 33 points, 5 boards, and 5 assists. Duncan Robinson only played 6 minutes and got 1 shot up. He missed it. Victor Oladipo in 21 minutes, 0 for 5 from the field, 0 for 4 from the field. Matt Strus in 19 minutes, 0 from 3 from the field, all of them being 3-pointers. Gabe Vincent, who was in the starting lineup, only 5 points in 27 minutes. Bam Adebayo, 31 minutes played, and you only gave me 14, 6, and 4. You went 6 from 14 from the field. Your new acquisition, Kevin Love, in 26 minutes, 13 points, 13 boards. Remember what I told y'all? That Kevin Love can be a double-double machine. Well, that's a double-double. 13 and 13 is a double-double. Nevertheless, it's a damn L. Miami now falls to 32 and 29 on the season. That puts them in the 7th spot in the East, which is the playing spot. With the Knicks being in the 6th spot with a 2.5 lead. No, would they? Yeah, 2.5 lead on the Miami Heat. Miami better get it together. This is not what we expected from the Miami Heat. Okay. Also on Saturday, we saw the New York Knicks beat the New Orleans Pelicans 128-106 in Madison Square Garden. The Grizzlies handled the Denver Nuggets 112-94. Morant dropping 23 points, and the Nuggets was blown out the door by halftime. But we got more Nuggets going on. And then the Saturday night primetime game was the Boston Celtics in the city of Berkeley to take on the Philadelphia 76ers with a struggling Jason Tatum, ladies and gentlemen. Jason Tatum struggled his butt off, okay? Jason Tatum with 18 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists. He was 7 for 17 from the field, 3 from 8 from 3. He struggled, but guess what? The deepest team in the NBA is the Boston Celtics. Al Horford, 15 points. Robert Williams, 14 points. Marcus Smart, who returned to the lineup, 10 points. Derrick White off the bench, 18 points. Jason Tatum's backcourt mate, the star mate, Jaylen Brown, 26 points. And 3 of Tatum's 18 points came on the game-winning shot as the Celtics win 110-107. Thus spoiling the game that Joel Embiid had with 41 points, 12 boards, and 5 assists in 40 minutes played. James Harden 21 points, 6 boards, 8 assists. Tobias Harris dropped in 19. That was about it. PJ Tucker gave you 7. Melton gave you 7. McDaniels came off the bench, gave you 4. Tyrese Maxey only gave you 8. That was it. That was it for Philadelphia. Outside of Harris, Embiid, and Harden, that was it. That's 3 guys that scored in double figures. But the Celtics, you have the entire starting lineup from Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Robert Williams, Marcus Smart, and Jaylen Brown scored in double figures. And then Derrick White come off the bench and score in double figures. This team is deep. This team is loaded. This team is unreal. The deepest team in the league is the Boston Celtics. By the way, who has the best record in the league at 44-17. Okay, that was Saturday. Now let's get to the Sunday. Just I accidentally forgot the Saturday slide. We kicked off Sunday with a good one in the state of Wisconsin with the Phoenix Suns taking on the Milwaukee Bucks without Giannis into the Cupo. And the Milwaukee Bucks pushed their winning streak to 14 with a 104-101 win over the Phoenix Suns. Jrue Holiday led the way with 33 points. You got 22 from Brook Lopez with 13 rebounds. Bobby Plus returned from his injury and gave you 10 and 6. Chris Middleton, who has continued to come off the bench as he recovers from that LinkedIn injury that he had from last season, that he missed 41 games already. He came off the bench, gave you 11, 10, and 6. It was just enough. Jay Crowder gave you a crucial 7 points. It might be 7 points on the scoreboard, but I don't think I understand the crucial 7 points that Jay Crowder gave the Bucks were crucial. That was in like the late third, fourth quarter type points, when you needed them. And it was enough to hold off the Phoenix Suns, who still doesn't have Kevin Durant yet, but we'll wait and see. But for us, with the team that they already had, Devin Booker, 24 points, 8 assists, 4 boards. Chris Paul, 18 points, 7 assists, 5 boards. DeAndre Ayton, 22 points, 11 boards. You got some production from the 3 that you got. O'Keefe gave you 11 and 7. Okay. Terrence Craig gave you 10 rebounds. It was a good fought game, but Jrue Holiday and company, when it counted more, Jrue Holiday led the way for the Bucks to get a crucial win to push the win streak to 14, even without Giannis in the lineup. Then we move on to the Brooklyn Nets down in the ATL to take on Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks. A game where the Hawks led by as much as 20. They only had the Brooklyn Nets come back and make it a game to force Trae Young to hit the buzzer beater jumper to win 129-127. Trae Young with 34 points on the day, with 8 assists. Javante Murray gave you 28 as well. They combined for 62 points. They got 12 from John Collins. Bogdanovich came off the bench, gave you 22. As they hold off the Brooklyn Nets comeback win. Spencer Dinwiddie, 20 points, 8 assists. Mikal Bridges, 24 points. Cam Johnson, 27 points to lead the way. Dorian Finney-Smith gave you 12. You got 12 from Royce O'Neal. Cam Thompson came off the bench and gave you 22. It's a scrappy Brooklyn team that it was down early and couldn't finish the comeback. That's all that was. Next game on the docket was the Washington Wizards in the city of Windy to take on Chicago Bulls, and it was not a contest to start off with. 102-82 beating of the Wizards. DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine combined for 56 points, and that's all I'm going to say on that one. Our next big game from yesterday was in the state of Texas when the Los Angeles Lakers paid a visit to Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. A game that I will dive in more into when I get to the final foul. But you see the final score here, 111-108. Lakers win that game in historic fashion. And I'll touch on that in my second foul. But we wasn't done for the games from yesterday. The Cleveland Cavaliers hosted the Toronto Raptors, and they put the Toronto Raptors to bed, 118-93. Donovan Mitchell with 35 points as they routed the Raptors. Jared Allen also added 23 and 11. Nothing you can say on that one. Two of the surprising teams in the West, part in the league, was the Sacramento Kings in Oklahoma City to take on the Thunder. Oklahoma City fell behind early, made a swift comeback in the third, but at the end of it, it was the Sacramento Kings taking it 124-115. De'Aaron Fox 33 points to lead the way with 8 assists. Keegan Murray added 20 as they shut down as they shut down the Oklahoma City Thunder without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for this game. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they were taking on the Golden State Warriors down in the Bay. No Steph Curry, no Draymond Green, no Andrew Wiggins. For the Warriors, no Rudy Gobert, no Karl-Anthony Towns for the Timberwolves. So we should see how this one go. Started off very well for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They jumped out early. And they found themselves with the L though. They led as much as by I want to say about 17 as much as they had to lead. And yet they could not put Golden State away. A serious fourth quarter comeback from the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors outscored the Minnesota Timberwolves 37-17 in the fourth quarter. 31-17 in the fourth quarter. I want y'all to think about that. They was down 19 going into the fourth quarter, and they outscored them 31-17 in the fourth quarter to win that game. That's a big turnaround. Klay Thompson lit up again. He had 32 in the game to lead the comeback and lead the win for the Golden State Warriors at home. Donovan DiVincenzo with 21 and 8 boards. Jordan Poole with a mile 15, 5 for 20 from the field. Jonathan Kuminga 13. Kevon Looney with 20 and 17. It's amazing how they did it, and you spoil a career night from Naz Reid, who had 30 points and 9 boards for the Timberwolves. But Anthony Edwards only gave you 12. Kyle Anderson, who got to start, gave you 12. Jalen Danielson, who was in the starting lineup, only gave you 12. Mike Conley, who was the starting point guard, gave you 9. You didn't really get much from the rest of the team outside of Naz Reid, who gave you 30 and 9. What a shame. And then the nightcap of the weekend came to the Mile High City in Denver, Colorado, as the Nuggets hosted the Los Angeles Clippers. Let's see how the Clippers would bounce back from that double overtime loss to the Sacramento Kings in that historic game that took place. And I gotta say, for the most part, the Denver Nuggets controlled most of this game, but the Clippers fought back to send it in overtime, and in overtime, it was all Denver. 134-124, Denver Nuggets win. They was tied at 124 going into overtime. As you can, and if you're trying to be mathematicians, the Denver Nuggets outscored the Los Angeles Clippers 14-4 in the overtime session. The Joker, 40 points, 17 boards, 10 assists, a 40-point triple-double for the Joker, and the two-time reigning league MVP, Jamal Murray, gave you 21 with 12 assists and 5 boards. Michael Porter Jr. gave you 29 points and 11 boards. Bruce Brown came off the bench, gave you 13 and 7 boards. This is what Denver looks like when they fully healthy, huh? It could be dangerous because Aaron Gordon didn't have a good game. He only had 6 points, 6 boards, and 6 assists, and he fouled out. His stat was full of 6. 6 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 6 personal fouls. He was 0 for 5 from 3, 3 from 9 from the field. Nevertheless, it was enough to hold off the Clippers comeback. Kawhi Leonard 33 points with 6 boards. Paul George with 23 points. Not one three going in, but made all his free throws. Russell Westbrook in 25 minutes of play, 17 points, five boards and 4 assists. Nicholas Batum off the bench gave you 12. You got 10 from Holland, who was returning to Denver. Outside of that, you ain't getting much. Terrence Mann only gave you 7. Eric Gordon didn't give you nothing in 25 minutes played. Norman Powell only gave you 9. You only got 7 and 10 from Miles Plumlee. Marcus Morris only gave you 6. Not enough. Kawhi needs help. Paul George didn't show up until the fourth quarter, and then he didn't show up in overtime. Nor did Kawhi Leonard. Let me tell you something. They 4 points in overtime came from the free throw line. The 2 free throws from Miles Plumlee and the 2 free throws from Paul George. That was their 4 points in overtime. Denver outscored them 14-4. That's how bad the Los Angeles Clippers was in overtime against Golden State, against the Denver Nuggets last night. That's how bad it is. Nevertheless, it's game 2 with the Russell Westbrook, and you're 0-2. Go figure. So that was the weekend that was in the NBA. But the fun doesn't stop because we got some games to watch. Starting tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to kick it off on NBA TV at 7 p.m. The Miami Heat is in the city of brotherly love to take on the Philadelphia 76ers. The Heat on a 4-game losing streak, and Philly's trying to keep pace with the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics, but they took an L to one of them teams already in the Boston Celtics, so somebody needs a big win. 7:30 at MSG, Madison Square Garden in New York City. It's the Knicks hosting the Boston Celtics. And then at 8 p.m. Eastern. But don't look now. Don't look now, because I know some of y'all looking like, is that the Orlando Magic on there? Yes, it's my Orlando Magic. Because with the New Orleans Pelicans struggling as they are without Zion Williamson and holding on to that 10th spot, just a game and a half ahead of the Portland Trail Blazers, and just a half a game ahead of the Portland Trail Blazers, and just a game up on the Lakers. They need this win at home against a Magic team who, quite frankly, is only 3.5 back of the Washington Wizards. Surprisingly, anything can happen. Washington has been losing. Washington has been 4 out of 6 in their last 5. Magic has been 5-5 out of their last 10. Anything can happen. Chicago, Indiana has not been smoking hot. Chicago has won 4 out of their last 10. Indiana's 3-7 in their last 10. It's not the realm of possibility. I can't believe I'm saying this, but as a Magic fan, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm happy to say this. It's not at the realm of possibility. The Magic might sneak up and catch one of these 3 teams. It's not at the realm of possibility here. So this is a big game, not only for the Pelicans who are at home, but for my Magic as well. So that's a game to be paid attention to for obvious sneaky reasons. And then we move on to tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, the 28th. Speaking of the Washington Wizards, they are in the ATL to take on the Atlanta Hawks. That's not going to be an easy task for the Washington Wizards. Bradley Beal, Kyle Kuzma versus Trae Young and Devontae Murray. By the way, Quinn Snyder is expected to make his coaching debut for the Atlanta Hawks at this game against the Washington Wizards. He has signed a 5-year deal, so that's something to also add to the equation as well. Now, after that, 7:30, we can watch the Milwaukee Bucks try to go for 15 in a row in New York City when they take on the Brooklyn Nets at the Barclays Center. Also at 7:30, Chicago Bulls are up north to take on the Toronto Raptors. So, like I said, Toronto trying to move up and catch Atlanta as they are the 9th seed. So you have them taking on the Chicago Bulls. You have the Hawks going against the Washington Wizards. It's not the one. If the Magic beat the Pelicans today, the Heat can lose to the Toronto Raptors. The The Wizards can lose to the Hawks. Anything's possible at this moment in time. Just letting you know that. And then TNT can get us started with our doubleheader. Our first of our doubleheader takes us to the FedEx Forum, Memphis, Tennessee, as John Morant and the Grizzlies host LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. Will LeBron play that game? That is going to be the question surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers. And for the Memphis Grizzlies, can they build on what they did to the Denver Nuggets over the weekend? Can they build on that and show the world that they can be a team to be reckoned with, and not a team people look at and say they ain't ready? That's the first half of tomorrow's slate. The second half, 8 o'clock, the Sacramento Kings round 2 with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Can Oklahoma City split the 2-game split, or will the Kings sweep them? At 8:30, the Indiana Pacers, who are just a game and a half ahead of the Orlando Magic, they are in Dallas to take on Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, and the Dallas Mavericks. At 10 p.m., the Dame Dollar coming off that 71-point game. He's taking it from Portland down to the Bay Area to take on the Golden State Warriors, who will be suited up for the Golden State Warriors, who will not be suited up for the Golden State Warriors. It's something to behold. And then the second of our TNT doubleheader takes us to Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California, where the Los Angeles Clippers will try to get their first win with Russell Westbrook as they host the struggling Minnesota Timberwolves. That is Tuesday, tomorrow, the final day of February. And then to kick it into March, round 2 between the Sixers and Heat. This time is traveling from the city of brotherly love down to South Beach. Let's see how that game goes. And then also at 7:30, the battle for New York continues when the Knicks host the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Wednesday is ESPN doubleheader at 7:30. We're going to kick it off at TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, when Donovan Mitchell and the Cleveland Cavaliers pay a visit to Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics. In our second half of that meeting, the Orlando Magic, they are in Milwaukee. Will Milwaukee be at 15 in a row by the time this game happens? Or will they finally have their first loss in 15 games as we face the Milwaukee Bucks? Also at 8, the Lakers take their talents to the Thunder and face off with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Will Shai Gilgeous-Alexander be back for that game? Will LeBron help that with that ankle injury? All these games are important. If you're starting to see the final, all these games starting to get important now. This is some important games coming up here. And then the second of our doubleheader on ESPN takes us to Portland, where the New Orleans Pelicans visit the Portland Trailblazers. CJ McCullough returning to Portland to take on Damian Lillard. That should be a fun one to watch, ladies and gentlemen. And that was our NBA Around the Hardwood.